something. Well, not for anybody else, I imagine, but, welcome to Indiana, the crossroads of America. Called that because nobody stays. They all pass out and leave. That's so weird. I haven't been back in Indiana for 3 years. About, well, you know, like basically 2 3/4. But basically, it's been 3 years since I've been back. Man, I gotta pay another toll? I just paid a toll. Jeez. Alright, I am 74 miles away from Mishawaka. It looks like it's gonna spit me out at 3:31. We're just passing Gary, Indiana. Gary, Indiana is kind of legendary because it's a really gross city and it smells a lot. Which, like, literally is what it's known for. It's like, even when you take the train, like, it's like, oh, about 10 miles out, you start to smell this, like, awful, sulfury, oily, dirty smell, and you're like, oh, we must be getting near Gary, Indiana, and sure enough, that's kind of what Gary, Indiana is known for. Because basically the entire city is a ghetto. It's basically like little Detroit. The moon looks all freaking spookish tonight. I probably won't be able to catch it on the camera, because I'm kind of weaving around here, and the bridge is kind of going everywhere, and, you know, getting the angle and all that jazz. But it's fingernail tonight, you know, crescent, but it's like all reddish, brownish.
Something wonderfully written about this area.
Shut up. But it's kind of spookish looking. I can't. I need to be able to stop and focus on it, and I can't. Unless I can. Maybe just out there. I don't know. Okay, alright, whatever. Hey, it feels good to go 70 again, though. I swear to God. As soon as I passed out of, I think it was North Dakota. No, wait. Yeah. Like Minnesota and Wisconsin, it's like, man, the fastest you can go is freaking 55. And we're back in Indiana, I was like, oh, alright, we're back to 70 again. And I had thought that I might stop in Beloit, Wisconsin or something and, you know, stop for the night, but when I got there, it was just like, oh, fuck it, let's just get through Chicago, and then now it's like, well, I'm only an hour out, I may as well just power through the rest of it. So I'll have to get cheese curds some other day, although I do miss them very much. It's right in front of me. Holy shit, that's a Japan style. Actually, no, it's not Japan style. Because if it was Japan style moon, like, the entire camera would just be filled with moon. And it would be a full moon, of course, because that's the only kind of moon that exists in Japan. You know, I've seen a few different things on this trip. And I'm glad that I took this trip, you know, and took my time getting back here. I'm not really sure why this morning it was suddenly like, I should go back today. Like, I guess because, you know, I mean, it is getting kind of expensive. But I think really my favorite part of this trip, and really, and I've noticed it, like, the happiest that I felt on this trip is when I was driving. And I'm not really sure why exactly, but when I would stay in one place for longer than a day, like, I would be so tired and I would want to stay another night. But it's like, especially after that, if I stayed a second night, like, I would just feel it, like, itching in my brain, like, I don't know, like there's a cactus in the middle of it trying to get out, like, I just would go crazy. And it's like, well, I know why. I mean, yeah, my brains are scrambled eggs, and you know, my medical benefits are not going to cover the PTSD, so I'm not going to have medication after the bottle I have runs out. So I've been carefully, like, rationing it to a couple pills every few days to try and keep it in my system as long as I can.
Never mind that noise coming from the trunk.
But I guess, like, I felt the best when I was driving. Like, I felt, I don't know, like I was actually out doing something, getting somewhere, literally and figuratively, I guess. Even today, like, I mean, I started driving at probably 10:30, 11 o'clock this morning, and it's 3 o'clock now. 3 o'clock in the morning of the next day. I mean, I've been driving for probably 14 hours, and I feel fine. I'm just like, well, yeah, let's drive. Let's just drive. I like driving, not when a bunch of people are around, but I don't know, I guess it's just relaxing. And I get to listen to music, and I sing along, and I get to be really loud, and nobody tells me to be quiet, or like I don't, get disapproving looks or something. It just, I don't know. The moon doesn't look so gross anymore. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel after I'm, back at my mom's house for a couple days. I don't know. I mean, I could get really antsy again and be like, okay, I need to go somewhere. I don't know. The military changes you, I think, in a way, and so I think some things are going to be a little bit different. I'm going to have a lot less patience, I think, in some ways. And a lot less willing to give in on certain things. But I don't know. I was going to be like, I don't know. I guess I don't know how I feel about actually being home, and I don't know how I feel about being in Indiana, and I don't know how I feel about stopping here, and I got to see some cool stuff in a few different states, about a half a dozen, less than I wanted to, but more than I had previously. I still want to keep traveling. I still want to see things. I want to get a one-way ticket to the UK. I want to buy a bicycle while I'm there, and then I just want to start going and just go and do all these things that I never did because of money. I mean, that's not even mostly. That is the reason that I've never done it, is money. Money, money, money. Always. And if I take a bike and I just, kind of hostel hop or something, then maybe it won't be that bad. And maybe people won't be so mean to me as I think they will be. Americans kind of have this idea that when we go to Europe, especially if we're traveling by ourselves, like, people are just going to be horrible to us because we're Americans, just because of where we were born. That's just how people are going to be towards us. And I hate that idea. I really don't want that to happen. Because I've always wanted to see Europe, always. And after I took history, it's like even more. It's just like, I just want to see it. I want to see everything. And middle class and poor Americans, the reason we don't come to Europe is because we're poor, and it costs like $1,500 for a one-way ticket across the ocean. Like, it's just so expensive, and your average family can't afford it. Your average person can't afford it. I can't afford it. I've just, got certain amounts of money sectioned off for certain things. So please don't judge us too harshly. The people that would benefit most from socialized medicine are like always the ones screaming about it because they don't understand how much good it would do them. Because, they probably didn't get to go to college either. They've probably never been able to go to Europe, and, I don't know. So, anyway, I don't know. I'm going to get off my soapbox there. God, my hands hurt. Oh, my God, my hands hurt. My hands and my arms all the way up into my shoulders. Oh, my God, I hurt. From the lupus, and the fibro. It's like I think I may still have like a low-grade fever, so when I have the heat on, I just burn up, and I hate it. So, but when I turn the air on, my fingers just, oh my God, they ache so much. I hate it. I feel like a wimp. Ooh, this is weird. Oh, travel plazas. For truckers. Ooh. There's smudge. Lens? That's probably weird. I don't know. I guess I'll listen to music again. I guess it's just so weird being so, like, I'm just this close to being back. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do. I didn't tell anybody that I was coming back today, like the 21st or whatever today is. Oh, it's 22nd now. But, like, I didn't tell anybody, anyone. So, like, you know, when Mom and Gary get up in, you know, like an hour and a half, I'm going to be like, hi, how's it going? And they're going to be like, oh, hey, you're back. We didn't expect you yet. Like, well, yeah, I don't know. I guess part of the reason, I mean, I don't know, I guess it's a self-preservation thing. I mean, you know, money, of course, is always going to be part of it, but it's like, it was really getting to me, I think, like when I was in Minot for that second night, because I was just sick, and I just felt awful, and I didn't want to drive. It's just like when I get to that staying longer than I need to, like whenever I stayed in any of the motels that I stayed in, longer than to sleep, when I was there for other amounts of hours, I just would go crazy. I just would start like thinking really hard and getting really introspective, and then it was just negativity, and it would just be like this downward spiral of horribleness. And I don't know, maybe that's why I felt so sick the last couple of days. I mean, I haven't been able to eat, and I ate, what was it, like 4 or 5 hours ago, and then immediately I had to pull over at the first rest stop, and I just puked everything up. It was awful. But I just feel nauseous, and I just don't feel good. And maybe it's from that, maybe it's just, you know, that I don't know what I'm going to do after this. That, I mean, the military didn't consume my life, but... And I'm definitely not the kind of person who, you know, oh, the military sectioned everything out for me. It was totally awesome. I hated it. I resented it, and it just drove me crazy because I just hated the monotony of it. But I did have some clear-cut goals in the military, and I was getting, you know, help, and you know, I had my medicine, and I wanted it to work out so much, and because I wanted to like the military. I didn't, not a lot. Well, there were certain things I liked about it, and then there were other things that just drove me freaking crazy. They just drove me nuts. But I guess I don't really know what to do with myself. Like, I got my college degree, and now it's basically useless. So I joined the military, and now that was my kind of like my last option. Like, this is my last resort for when everything else falls through. Everything else fell through, so I joined the military, and then that didn't work either. So I mean, like, I'm kind of like, well, now what do I do? Because that was my last resort, and now that didn't work either. So I'm not sure. I guess just, you know, I don't know. And that's where I guess I'm kind of like, well, I've tried to be responsible. I've done everything right, and nothing has worked. So I guess maybe I should just stop trying so hard and just start doing what I want, because very obviously it doesn't matter if I do everything right. My throat's really dry. Okay, alright. I'm at the 20-mile mark. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. I don't know if I'll record anymore. I don't know why, but I came into South Bend and I recognized things, and it just, I don't know, I just immediately got really nauseous, and I don't know, I guess anxiety, and I was like, what the hell, what's going on here, you know? I mean, this shouldn't be happening, but I don't know, it's like the closer I get, it's like the more nauseous I feel. I'm not exactly sure why I feel nauseous. It just, I don't know, I guess it's just that weird, I guess, to be back. In Mishawaka, there's the mall, whatever the name of it was, I suddenly can't, UP, University Park, that's what it was, UP Mall. Huh. I feel weird, because I mean, it's like I don't know this place anymore. There's a lot that's different, but I still recognize it. I don't know, it's weird, okay? It's just weird. It's weird. And I'm really nauseous for some reason. What the hell are those? Oh, they're storage units. But this place is closed now. The big Hummer plant that they put in, I don't know, it seems like it was in 2000 or something. Yeah, because it was for military vehicles, and people were like, oh my god, are the terrorists going to bomb it? And we're like, no. What the fuck do the terrorists care about that? Well, here we are. There goes nothing, right?